Senator, would you like to hear from Dr. Bright as well?
Absolutely. Nicolle, he obviously has an important story to tell, but I think there's a larger picture here where this president, anybody that crosses him, I think the motto should be in this administration, don't cross the boss. Whether you're in the intelligence community, in the medical community, and working on coronavirus, if you disagree and try to do your job, which you swore to uphold, you could get in trouble and, in fact, get fired.
You know, I wrote down some of what he said as he was talking, and as you're suggesting, it had haunting echoes of the 17 witnesses who testified in the impeachment hearing against Donald Trump. There were some echoes to Secretary Mattis's resignation letter, which came after decisions about Syria and troops in Syria. I mean, it is a repeat story. Dr. Bright saying that he stood by science, quote, instead of funding projects promoted by cronies. How are we so far in and we're still pushing out the best and the brightest people like Dr. Bright in favor of cronies?
Well, the real tragedy here is that this is a mistake and a tragedy for the president himself. By cutting himself off from people who, A, are smart, B, know their subject matter, and C, will tell him the truth, he's ultimately cutting himself off from good information. And when you don't have good information, you make bad decisions. And the irony of this is that he is hurting himself. And he's always seemed to view this through a political and economic lens and not as a healthcare crisis. And I believe politically, the best thing he could have done would be to grab onto this in a firm and bold way back in February and March, led the country and done the things that are necessary to do. But they just haven't done that. And disbanding the task force, if that's what they're talking about doing, is just one more step in avoidance of the responsibility. Nicolle, there shouldn't be ideology or politics in this. This is science. This is a disease, and it doesn't take sides in politics. And you know, it just doesn't. It defies the sense of both of politics and just of the facts. And for example, testing. The only way to avoid the spread of this disease until we have a vaccine or a cure is to know who has it. And our testing response has been totally inadequate. And that's a straight up management challenge. That's not ideological. That's just, you know, we need about 2 million tests a day in order to know who has the disease and how to trace them and track them. And then you can safely reopen. But to put the responsibility on the governors for reopening without the testing is unconscionable.
Well, to your point, I mean, the political opportunity for Donald Trump was to do everything you just said, to take this and say there will be a time for politics in the fall. Right now, I'm going to get this right. That was as much as it's a human tragedy, the loss of life is staggering. I can't read the numbers and the projections or the daily death tolls without feeling just gutted. But the other piece of this for Donald Trump is what you just said. I mean, what is the way forward for opening without testing? It would seem if you want a company to open and you're Donald Trump and you want that and you think you need that, you'd get those tests yourself, pack them up in a little FedEx envelope, you know, lick it closed and send it in the mail. And that's the fastest way to get any company back open. The company knows the health of their workforce.
Well, I sent the president a letter. I'm on the supposed task force to reopen. Remember that? That was announced, and I was appointed.
Oh,
there was a conference call. Not much has happened since that. But as a member of that, I wrote him a couple of weeks ago and said, look, testing is the big problem. Why don't you appoint somebody of the stature of Joe Dunford, who's the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, someone with nonpartisan stature, expertise, logistic skills, good judgment. Put him in charge and say, we want 1 million tests a day by May 15th and 2 million by June 30th. And here's the authority to do it. Make it happen. That could happen. But for some reason, and I really honestly don't get it, because a crisis like this is actually an opportunity to demonstrate leadership. Margaret Thatcher, the day before the Falkland invasion, had a 23% approval rating. 2 weeks later, she had a 70% approval rating because she responded to a crisis with firmness and competence and ability. And in this case, the opposite has happened to the president, and there's still time. I mean, he can still reach out and seize this, but he's rolling the dice right now that if we reopen, which he's egging on, is just it could blow up.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.